A frequent question new dancers ask is, what dance style do I dance to this song? For anyone unfamiliar with music, or even unfamiliar with the variety of music that can be danced to, as well as the variety of dance styles that exist, picking the right dance can be confusing. Unless you only know one dance style, then do what you know. So what do we listen to in the music, and how do you pick a dance style? Before we attempt to pick a dance for a given song, we remember a key distinction between music written for dancing and music that we merely dance to. The former will be easier to classify and have a more right answer, while the latter will be more open to personal interpretation. How do we know the difference between the two? In 2024, much of the music written for partner dancing is labeled in the title or on the album. Most pop music does not have a beat that matches with a pre-established style, which is expected as dance styles take time to establish and popular acceptance to be formalized, while pop music is often new or innovative and doesn't adhere to the music style or genre standards that drove the adoption of old dance styles. There are a few music artists making Viennese waltz songs in the style of Strauss and Lanner, although there is music that contains similar elements. There's a large genre of popular Latin music right now that matches well with the samba beat, but artists aren't writing at the perfect 50 measures per minute for competitive dancing. Something to consider is that just because the song is labeled as such doesn't mean it's the most perfect match to that dance, but it could just be in the same musical style or a slower practice tempo. Additionally, lots of music doesn't have a clearly defined beat, or it changes the strongest rhythm throughout, which will inspire change of dance style in the middle of the song, such as a cha-cha and mambo mix or a slow fox that goes up-tempo to swing. Songs that are written for dancing, particularly for dance competitions, will tend to adhere to the strict interpretation of a musical style meant for a particular dance with little variation. This is a very particular subgenre of music that can be found on albums like this, and from composers or DJs like this, who write music particularly for dance competition or practice. They will write well within the bounds of established tempi for particular organizations and adhere to specific styles. The biggest factors to consider, in order, when determining a dance style to pick are the rhythm, the tempo, and the instrumentation or style. The first and foremost factor is the rhythm. In order to understand rhythm, let's go over three basic concepts which are very important to dancing. The beat is the smallest repetitive sound in a song, the one we count with whole numbers. As humans, we generally consider the beats we can both clearly distinguish and move along to. If you hear a sound but can't tap along to it, there's no way you can dance to it. Let's begin by finding the beat of a familiar sound, the ticking of a clock. We hear it tick every second or 60 ticks, beats per minute. This beat matches well with a low resting heart rate. But if we listen instead to a grandfather clock, we hear tick-tock, or 120 beats per minute. If you walk 120 beats per minute, you'll be marching along with the US military. If instead we give value to the in, out, and silence in a heartbeat, we have 3 beats per second, or 180 beats per minute. Lots of dancing music is in and around this range of 60 to 240 beats per minute, or 50 to 60 bars per minute. Therefore, the first thing to do when listening to a song is to pick up the sound that repeats in this range. Notice, though, that 60, 100, and 240 are all in this range, which means we have to determine which beats are the most important at the next level, the measure. When writing music, composers will tell you which beat is most important by using the time signature, which now denotes our measure. If a composer says 120 beats per minute in 4/4 time, you know each sound we hear that repeats at 120 beats per minute is the beat, and we have 30 measures per minute. The song is counted every 4. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, and so on. In most styles of music, this measure will create the smallest repetitive theme. Concept acknowledged in decorum is one of hypermeter. Back in the 1800s, as music for dancing was being written, composers utilized this concept of hypermeter. This is where the time signature is in 3/4 or 6/8 time, but you still hear an additional 2-measure theme. This was set to match the alternating pattern of the waltz steps. He goes, she goes, he goes, she goes. 1 measure for each action. The theme is also seen in Latin music and is why dancers often count to 8 or 6 despite a time signature in 4 or 3. Most music written for dancers with 2 half basics, a forward and back, or lead around and follow around, adhere to a form of hypermeter. Some songs or styles, which are not as equally halved, will not always adhere to this, but it is such a common thematic element in music that you can often hear it anyways. Music written for an orchestra performance may not adhere to this, as composers are not concerned that the music works well with a repetitive dance step. These three elements, beat, measure, and hypermeter, help us find the most common repetitive elements of the song. In addition, we have syncopations, which are less than a beat, and accents, or which beat and a measure is stressed, that will differentiate our rhythms. These sounds are found first in the rhythm section, such as the drums and bass line, but are often mirrored in the melody, the vocals, or the higher timbered instruments. To help differentiate the varying accents, let's listen to plain beats with no accent, then a start of measure accent, and beats with a hypermetrical accent, beats with an even syncopation, a swing syncopation, an accent on the 2 and 4, and an accent on the 1 and 3. So, when you're listening to a song, what do you have to determine? First, the time signature. Do I hear beats repeating every 3 beats or 4 beats? Music with a strong 1 and 4 with 2 beats in between is a style of waltz. Beware, however, of jazz triplets, which can sound like a fast waltz beat, but have a rhythm accent that's actually very slow, and repeating on the metrical level of every 4 triplets and hypermetrically every 8. This can be seen in how the music is written. Music is written to tell the musicians how to play the music and what to accent. You can very easily rewrite music and change the accents, and now a song may be suited for a different dance style. Most other common dance music is in 2/4 or 4/4 time. The difference is found again in the meter and the hypermeter. 2/4 has a repeating theme and accents twice as fast as 4/4, even if they have the same tempo. In 4-count music, you might hear swing music, which is identified by a strong downbeat and a swing syncopation. Latin music like salsa, mambo, rumba, and zouk with a stronger accent on the 1. And tango music, which often has a strong 1 and 5. Some music has a very even accent. Each beat sounds mostly the same as the other in genres like merengue or hustle, and the chosen dance steps or style should match the basic rhythm we have chosen from the dance song. Even beats should have the dancer's step on every beat. I'll do a full breakdown of common dance music rhythms in a separate video for you. Once the rhythm has been determined for the song, the tempo, as noted by meter and hypermeter, must be taken into consideration. Waltz and Viennese waltz share rhythm, as do many mambo and cha-cha songs, but their danceable tempos are significantly different. If a song sounds like a cha-cha but is too fast for you, dance mambo. Many dance styles share rhythm and accents, yet grew apart due to the variety of tempos to which the music was played. Lastly, and generally least important, is the instrumentation or style of the song. Instrumentation often helps differentiate between dances with similar rhythms and tempos, and generally rose due to regional variations in music. Lots of covers also exist. These are the same rhythm or tempo, but introduce a different instrument choice, which creates a different sound. When dancing, it's important to try and match both what you and your partner know, as well as what styles are expected of you. A pulsing beat around 120 beats per minute may make for great hustle music, but it also works well for merengue. You wouldn't feel terribly wrong dancing hustle to merengue or vice versa, as they're both fairly possible, but you'll certainly be looked at funny if you're dancing very differently from all the people around you, because they are different dances, different rules, and techniques. You should try to pick the right one if you know it. So what do you pick? The answer can be seen in a flowchart like this. What is the best dance based on our above factors? Is it a song for dancing? First, the song sounds like it has a 4/4 time signature, stronger 1 with a weaker 3, syncopates and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 fairly softly. Tempo is 31 measures per minute, and it's using Latin or Caribbean instruments. That makes it an American rumba. Or what if it's not a song written for dancing? There may be 2 equally good dances. Notice in this chart of tempos that a lot of music is in and around 30 measures per minute. If the song tempo is in this range, you may have 2 equally prominent rhythms, which lend themselves towards 2 different dance styles. or an instrument choice which may be mixed with a different rhythm than expected. One dance style may not feel perfect, but good enough to dance to is the answer. Next, you have to ask yourself, what if I don't even know the rhythm? If you're only familiar with country two-step, you may not recognize the salsa rhythm, or know the subtle difference between mambo and salsa. Therefore, the next right answer is, whatever I know that goes to some rhythm in this song. You may stick out on the dance floor if other people do know the right one, but who cares, you're dancing. This is one reason that people want to know what kind of music is being played somewhere that they're going to dance. They want to do the right dance to the right kind of music. Next, consider what you can actually do based on your current abilities. Sure, I know cha-cha, but maybe I'm just not that good yet, so it's more comfortable to dance a slow mambo. It's not objectively the right answer, but it's the best answer for you to have a comfortable dance. This also includes your clothing, like your shoes, ladies. Your partner's in super high stiletto heels and a tight dress, maybe stick to swing instead of quick step. And even if the song title has quick step, 56 measures per minute in the title, but you're in a crowded bar, don't force it. And of course, take your partner into consideration for all of the above. Just because you're comfortable doing the faster dance, bigger steps, or know 50 dance styles, doesn't mean your partner is the same. Once again, here's a quick flowchart from start to finish, figuring out what to dance from only the first two measures of music.